here. Perfect. Looking cool. Everybody's looking fantastic. You guys are awesome. Okay. Hi there, I'm Paint with Josh. Welcome to the Paint with Josh experience. It's more like a little painting show where you can just relax and chill out and have a good time and watch me put this scene together, and also paint along if you wish to do so. If you are going to paint along with us, I would suggest getting your canvas wet with Bob Ross Liquid White or Grumbacher's First Coat Liquid White, something. Let the canvas have some form of paint on it. Now, Bob Ross Liquid White is an oil blending medium which helps our big thick oil paints that we have up here blend and slide around. Now I'm gonna go right into my Meaden Ultramarine Blue. See how we flip the brush like that? And pull down again from that area, flip it again. That way you got even brush and even paint distribution. Now you can see because we have our canvas, this is wet, it's gonna allow all of our paints to slide and blend and move. And on these big old gallery thick canvases, you have to do the sides just as well as you do the front, I'm telling you. Now, as you can see, the more that we blend this in, the softer and softer it becomes, mainly because the paint is falling off of our brush. And it's mixing in with more and more and more of that liquid white base coat that's on our canvas, right? That way, it'll slide and it'll adjust the colors, and you'll have all sorts of different values. If you keep going and keep going and keep going, eventually, it will just be white. There won't be any paint left on the brush to do anything. You know what I mean? So you're in control of how far the paint slides, how dark the color is versus how light it is. You are in control of that at all times, right? The only thing I like to do, leave a little soft little puff of unpainted area in our sky. And seriously, it's gonna help you keep your clouds brighter white. Okay, I'm telling you. We're not using a whole lot of our blue today, and we're spreading it out very lightly, and anywhere that we can see a little streak, we just go back and crisscross without picking our brush up off of the canvas. And that way, all these little things will blend and slide. Now that doesn't mean that I want to blend it all perfectly and have every bit or every part of my sky be all exactly the same. That's not what I want. We want to blend it out, be nice and soft. And let's go over here into a little bit of our dioxazine purple next. That's a Gamblin color. So now we're using two different brands of paint in the same painting. We'll come drop it in from the corner up here. And again, we're not getting a lot of paint. It's not overly dark. It's not overly thick. We don't want it to grow all the way across our canvas. But the same thing, the more you blend in that purple, the softer that blue becomes. It's nice. It's a nice little color change. And we can blend it and push on it and spread it. And the same thing happens. It gets lighter and lighter and lighter. The more that we mix it, the more all of the same it becomes. So we're gonna decide at some point, some of the times too, you can take it like this. If you have too much color up top, you wanna bring it down, pull it down, and then go back and crisscross it and mix it up. And it's all up to us. Every time we go to do it, guys, we get another opportunity to do it a little differently, right? You can clearly see we've got two different sides of our sky. Let's get into a little bit of our black color. Now be careful, okay? Because the Bob Ross black that we're using today is not very black, right? It's kind of more of a very dark purpley color. You can see I put a lot of it on the brush, and a lot of it doesn't go very far because it starts to blend in and mix. Now, if your paint is a lot darker and stays a lot blacker for a lot longer, even mixing over our liquid white base coat, then use much, much, much less, right? You don't have to use as much. You don't have to do, nothing ever has to look exactly the same, right? We're in control of what it looks like every time that we go to do it. The more black paint that we put up there, the more we know it's going to be darker in our sky. So if you want to have a little area of maybe a stormy little sky, or maybe something off in the distance, that's what this darkness really projects. And if you can keep a light part of your sky, and then we'll pop some clouds in right here, and then we'll have our dark under part of our sky, then everything's going to work out fantastically, you guys. The more we mix this in even, right, the more you won't be able to tell where the black was, where the blue starts, where the black ends or starts, or wherever. Because we'll mix it and mix it and mix it until it's unable to be told where it was. Now, a lot of the times your white area will shrink down. That's okay, right? It's gonna shrink down. We just need it to have a little bit less paint there than we do everywhere else. That's really all we're looking for, guys. Now, before I get too far into the show, you guys check in, tell me where you're watching from. Oh, I've got to stare into 110 LED lights just so I can get my charger out and make sure that the phone doesn't go deceased on us here when we're in the middle of a show. That would be a bad thing. Now remember, if you're watching over on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. That's all we need. Thumbs up, not the emoji thumbs up, like the video. Actually hit that thumbs up button. That's going to help us more than you can imagine by getting new people in here. And it basically tells YouTube that whatever you're watching, you're liking. You're having a good time. Maybe it'll show it to more people. That's all that button does, really. There we go. Cool little soft little sky. Now, again, just for me, it's not dark enough. I like a moody sky. There we go. Just gonna pop a little bit more darkness in there. And then, what am I gonna do? Leave it like that? No, of course not. We're gonna blend it. But some of the times, now that we've picked up more paint onto our brush, we may have too much color on said brush in order for it to blend. So we may need to either go dab it off on a paper towel real rough, trying to remove all the paint, or wash it if you need to wash it. All up to how yours is looking every time. We're not worried about what my scene looks like, okay? I'm up here trying to help you become better without having to fail as much as I have failed. Right? I've failed more times at things you haven't even tried yet. You know what I mean? You haven't even thought to do this, and I've already tested it out, tried it, failed at it, then got better and better and better at doing it, right? That's all it's about, trying things. There's not one of my contemporaries that's painted more paintings than I have. I have more practice and more experience than any one of my contemporaries. Okay, so listen to me. Learn from my mistakes where I had failed, and then know now how to not fail for future paintings, right? That's all I ask. Just learn. Learn from me. Watch it come together, right? Listen to what we say, because I've got more time, right? Did you know, firstly, Bob Ross was my grandpa's cousin? I don't wave it around like it's my right to rule the 7 painting kingdoms, okay? But he was. And he had a very short amount of time in his show to explain what he was doing, right? He showed us what he was doing very quickly. And I'm here to tell you why we do certain things. We leave a little empty so it'll be brighter, right? We leave a darker spot so we'll have some shadows. Everything is a learning experience with me, guys. So, be prepared to have some fun, to interact. And when I ask you a question, answer it in the comments, right? Like I'm gonna ask you right now, where are you watching from? Just tell me, from around the world, where are you from? And I think that's gonna be a really cool little sky. Really cool little sky. And remember, if you like this painting, you can purchase it right on paintwithjosh.com. I don't have to tell you, I've got mods to tell you how to do it, so we only mention it once or twice. And they mention it much more than I do. Now, we'll get up here, we'll take our white paint, we're gonna go along the top of our shadow and kind of save that light area. Maybe we cut right in between it, right? What if we go this way? Let's go this way for once. Yeah. It's backwards to what, to how I've, no, screw it, let's go this way. Here we go, we're gonna start on this side. We're gonna push into the canvas with full pressure and just start jiggling it, right? Turning our brush midway, cutting through, jiggling over here, over there, mushing it, making it odd and weird on the top, not caring about what happens underneath. Does anybody know why we don't care about what happens underneath our cloud? Just tell me out there if you know. And I can tell you that that's not enough paint. Right? Even though you're looking at it going, oh my goodness, what is this guy doing to this poor canvas? That's not enough paint to make our little scraggly little Paint with Josh clouds out here, okay? Because, let's even pop up. Yeah, there we go. Pop up, go all the way to the side. It doesn't matter. It's like a big bank coming in. But this angle right here with that little upturn helps make it look like it's round and coming around on both sides, okay? Now, where are you guys watching from? Let's see. Let's see in the world where we're all from out here. Anybody? Did I miss it? Did you guys already all check in and I missed it all? That's fine. Watching from Ireland, that's cool, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Liverpool, Arizona, watching from the Philippines, Norway, Missouri, South Carolina, Montana, Sweden, Vegas, Texas, Austria, Indiana, Texas, Vegas, Mississippi, Wales, Florida, Louisiana, UK, Oklahoma City. Let's see, Netherlands, Florida, Kentucky, London, Romania. That's cool. That is cool. Now, let's take our 1-inch brush, get up here, start mixing down that bit of white mess. Right? The more that we mix, and sometimes we need to go the other way. We'll make our little strokies clockwise. Right? Go this way, dragging it down, making it look like it's flowing underneath its own self. Or we'll get down there and we'll flatten it off if we don't like how it looks by the time we get there. But by mixing up all this white paint that we randomly put up there, and then we randomly mixed it up, going all over the place, back and forth, right? Pushing a little harder at the bottom, making it a little bit softer at the top with our pressure, keeping it a bit whiter, working it in down here around the base to make it mix in and disappear away with our dark sky. Right? Very cool, simple little way. Let's get a little touch of our crimson, a little bit of our black, mix them together. Gotta mix them together. What if we came underneath this guy? Like that, just that big old mess. Doesn't even have to go all the way across, honestly. Because if we wanted it to, we could drag that color, soften it out, right? The more that we mix it, and the harder that we push on it, the softer the color will become. And you can get up underneath. Make a little flat bottom to your cloud, just like that. Again, how do you want it to look? Because it's up to you guys every time. The more I mix it, the more it disappears, right? All up to us, guys, every time. Scrub it in there if you have to make it go away, right? It's all up to you. Now, what if you wanted to make it look like it was dragging backwards away from said cloud? Pulling off, getting a little darker, getting a little lower. Right? Gotta change that, but we're just scrubbing it in real rough like, right? Determining when we want to stop, very lightly mixing the white back down over that little black area. Bang, just like that. Awesome. Awesome, you guys. Now, let's switch back to our big old 2-inch brush. We're going to attempt to make a straight line. I know it's difficult, but we're going to attempt to do it, okay? We're going to get our black onto our brush. I'm going to grab our blue, because the blue is going to be stronger than the black, right? This Bob Ross black, anyway, is not very black. So the blue is going to overtake all that. We just need a little bit of darkness in there. That's where that piece of skin went. Almost got stuck to me. Okay, now, as we come down, we've got our darker area, and then it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter down to the horizon. We're going to pick where we want our horizon to be. And don't judge my ability of an artist off of this one straight line, because it's probably not going to be so straight. There, right? That's going to be our oceany water, a bit of that darkness, and then we're going to blend it and blend it and blend it, right? Is that straight enough? That's straight enough, right? Is that straight? I can't even see. It looks pretty straight to me. That looks pretty straight to me. I like it. He messed up. Is it not straight? It's okay. It's all right. Like I said, not many artists can paint a straight line. Yeah, with a big old 2-inch brush live on camera either. Right? Now, the more that you mix this guy, and you can let it mix with your sky, right? Like now our brush is turned vertical, so I'm kind of grabbing some of the water and some of the sky, and I can soften it down, because I don't know about you guys, but out here on the Oregon coast, sometimes it's hard to see the entire horizon, right? Sometimes you got a bit of mist or a bit of fog or a low-lying cloud. It's floating along the bottom. It's all up to us every time we do it, right? We can do it a little bit differently. Now, we're going to take a little of our phthalo green, which is one of Bob's favorite colors, one of my favorite words to say, phthalo green. We're going to drop that phthalo green in here. There we go, very light, right in the front. And we're going to make a little, like make it a little bit to a point almost. Right? Doesn't have to come all the way in. Doesn't have to go anywhere. Doesn't have to go side to side. And then we're going to mix that back towards our darker section, kind of pushing that dark line back, intermixing the two of them. And just like that, you got yourself an ocean. No, I'm just kidding. We'll go back and put some stuff over the top of it. All right, what we're going to do now is I want you to answer me this question, okay? When we are furthest away from us, are we using our liquid white or our titanium white, right? So put in LW for liquid white or TW for titanium white. And just answer me the question. If I wanted to paint some background faraway waves, What paint am I using? Titanium white. That's right, you guys. The titanium white. Of course. Cosmic Lighthouse over there on YouTube. Checking it out. Modding for us. She's awesome. I need to raise the height of that guy a little bit. Now, all we need, by the way, is a bit of darkness along that back. So I'm going to take a little bit more of my black, put it back here, just to have it be darker than our section in the front, right? All we need to worry about. Is it darker than the section in the front? Because as we get further away, our horizon becomes darker, right? We can't see so much back there. Now, we're going to take our palette scrapey tool. We're going to pull down on our titanium white only. We're going to cut across it so we get this little roll out there on the edge. And then we've got to decide, what do we want our scene to look like? First, we have to pick a horizon. And normally we start over here and work this way. Today, we're going to start over here. Start on the right. We're going to work it down and down, a little bit lower, right? So we started up at a higher point, ended down at a lower point. So it's going to make it look like the waves are rushing in this way, which is exactly what we want it to look like. Now you can see the gap above the wave and the end of my horizon. That is okay. You do not ever have to have white all the way to the back of your horizon in your ocean scene, because, like I said before, the further away we get, the less we can see, and then it all becomes this dark horizontal line at the back of our horizon, right? So, a little bit to a point over here, a little bit thicker over here. Not much thicker, it's not even as big as my pinky, right? But it's a little bit thicker away from its horizon than that guy is over there. Now, off of this guy, Josh, I do not like my right side waves most of the time, but we're gonna keep practicing until we do. All we're gonna do is just drag it off, right? Little bit of white rolling over the edge right from the front of that line that we had, so we don't have to make any new lines or do anything crazy. Okay, we can get over here, we can keep going. It gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, so itself is climbing up the other way as well. Now, for these very far away, kind of indistinct waves, they don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have anything. You can see that little our S-shaped curve. You'd have to turn your head on this side, and it's a very shallow S shape, but it's there. Right? Drop off of this guy, get far enough away from the eye to where it starts getting flatter. Okay? And we can come in here and start filling in different little things just by scraping them together, my friends. That's literally it. You're scraping in a couple of details because we can never see our entire bit of ocean. You can never see every part of every wave and everything that's happening all at once. You can never see it. You never will. You just won't. Out there in the night. I'm going to shrink this guy back a little bit. There. It's all about those angles, right? The angles. Now, let's drop down. We have to start up here a little bit higher. Start skirting down a little bit lower, until we're in the front, right? Now we're in front of our little wave. Now we can start cutting back. Right? Coming up, grabbing the front, going back. And then once we get back up in here, we're gonna have to very gently start rolling some bit of details up in here. Now this part is totally against the natural motion of my hand, right? Because we normally like doing them the other way. If you've ever watched a Paint with Josh show, I'm always doing the waves in the opposite direction of this. Because as a right-handed person, that's not a very natural feel for my hand to go that way. Drag it out a little bit more, a little bit further and further away. That's a cool one, you guys. I'm starting to like it. Again, just all titanium white until we get to about this point. We're going to want to introduce some of our liquid white into the mix, and as we enter our liquid white into the mix, everything is going to become more liquidy, as you can imagine, right? Just like that. Now, what do you think, guys? Just a little mess all of a sudden tricks your brain into thinking that it's an ocean scene out there? Ahoy, they say. Ahoy, matey. Out there on the ocean with me black pirate heart. We're going to mix a little of our liquid white into our paint. Now, what does the liquid white do, class? What does the liquid white do for our paints? Does it make it thicker and harder to handle? What does it do? We're not going to worry so much about the side over there because we're going to have some big old bushies popping up in there. What's our liquid white do, guys? Anybody? Makes it thinner. I agree, 100%. Makes it thinner and easier to do. Remember, guys, if you're watching over on YouTube, there's 36 people watching over there, but there's only 10 likes. Make sure you like the video. It really helps bring in more people. That's one thing you can do to help me out. And you guys are right. It makes the paint wetter and thinner, and therefore it will deposit off of our palette scrapey tool much easier, right? Get in there, and then you can even move it further. Scrape this guy down and down, scrape him out, and eventually end up blending it away if you wanted to, because that's what that liquid white does. It just wants to disappear. Okay? Now, let's not get too far into our little phthalo green area, wherever yours may be. All right, we're going to keep a pretty horizontal line in the front. See, mine's kind of dipping up this way, and it's kind of dipping up that way. That's going to make it seem like the center is closer to us than the back is. And if you needed a spot that maybe got a little bit too bright, just take a bit of your blue, just straight up blue right on the edge of your blade. Go back and fill in the little areas, right? All up to you guys. Literally every time you do it is another chance, another opportune moment, like Captain Jack would say, to do it a little differently, right? Now, let's get a little bit more liquid white. And what does that liquid white do again, class? I forgot your answers. If you could just type it in again. What does the liquid white do to the titanium white when we mix them together? What does it do? What does it do? Because I forgot all of your guys' answers. You might have said something, but I didn't see it. Right? So, it makes it thinner. Right. Helps with blending. Yes. Makes it thinner. That's correct. Now, what we're going to do is make this area look like that foamy retraction area where the water had come up and then it seeped back and it's left a little rim and it's very glossy and wet looking. And in order to do that, we need that very wet paint. So we're going to get right up underneath this guy, and we're going to pull down with that wet paint our liquid white, titanium white mix. Right? Sometimes it might come off of your palette scrapey tool a bit brighter in some areas, or maybe not so much in other areas. And that would be just like nature. It might be a bit brighter in some spots. It might be a bit less wet. It might be a bit more shiny, less shiny. It might have come down a bit further. It might not have. It might not have made it that far in that certain spot, right? And that means it doesn't have to be perfect, which is the only reason why I chose to paint landscapes, you guys. Because it doesn't have to be perfect in order to look like a wave. It doesn't have to be perfect in order to look like a tree or whatever, right? So let me wash off this brush real quick because it's got too much of this dark paint on it. So while I'm washing off the brush, you check in. Tell me where you're watching from. Just where are you from in this world? Where are you from all over this land? There we go. You guys tell me. I'm going to dry the brush off and then we're going to get back to the action, okay? So where are you from? Pennsylvania, Utah, Tennessee, Australia, Florida, New York, Virginia, Arkansas, Maryland, Oklahoma, New York City, Scotland, Kentucky, North Carolina, upstate New York, Germany, Indiana, Alabama, Georgia. Man, you guys are from everywhere, man. You're from everywhere, man. You're from everywhere. No? All right, I won't sing it. We'll take this little bit of our liquidy white. We're going to pull it down very lightly. Very light, very light. Very lightly. There we go. That way, it kind of looks like a little waterfall in front of our oceany beach. Yeah, does that look like sand to you? If not, tell me what it looks like. Does it look like wet, sandy, shiny, beachy area? Or, if not, tell me what you think it looks like. I'll wait. I'll wait a few seconds. Tell me what you think, because we're going to change it up. Ooh. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Looks like a waterfall. I feel you, a little tidal reflection pool, especially after we take all those vertical streaks we just made and turn them into this very glossy, very wet, very shiny looking area in front of our oceany sand. Now that we've done that, we have to make a big decision, you guys. How much brown are you gonna put in your sand? Do you want like a Florida beach where there's barely any brown, it's very white, sandy beaches? Do you want an Oregon beach where it's very dark brown sand? You get to decide. We're gonna take our dark sienna. Ooh, that's Whoo, baby, that's a lot. I'm very lightly touching it, right? I'm going to show you. Coming from this side, all the way from the edge, very light, very light. Now, we're going to come into our green area a little bit because it's going to mix together anyway. Right? Put a little bit of our sandy thing right over here. A little bit of our sandy color onto this side. Now I'm going to get all the paint off of this brush that I possibly can. Because if I don't, it's only going to keep becoming browner and browner and browner. Right? But if I get a clean dry brush, and then I come in and I mix it with all this wet white paint that's underneath, then it should blend out very softly. Right? So, no paint on the brush, starting in the light area first, then we start to blend. We start to pick up all those little streaks, and you're pulling them, and you're pulling them, and you're pulling them, and you're mixing them, and then you're getting into your green, and you're pushing on it. And sliding around, and again, how much pressure, how much paint do you want to have in your scene? All up to you. Doesn't that look much more like a wet sandy beach? Little sandy beach. The more we scrub it, the more it will blend, because it's constantly blending in with that liquid white paint that's underneath. So, you're working at it, and you're working at it, and you're bringing the light color, and you get that very bright, very soft little sandy area, right up in. We're kind of shrinking our blue. We're pushing our light color, our phthalo green. We're pushing it back up, pushing it further away. Each time that we mix it with this brown, and it gets a little bit less green, a little bit more brownie, or a little bit more brownie. Now I'm getting hungry. A little bit more. Right? We get to choose what it looks like every time. That's the best part about painting, right? We can all use the same colors. We can all use the same brushes. And somehow we can all end up with a million different results every time that you go to do a painting. Okay? Isn't that cool? Isn't that just neat? That is looking gorgeous. Thank you, I appreciate that. Now, if you're looking closely enough, we can see there's a big gap between our wet sand and our water. Right? There's a dark area right there. So what we need to do is get our liquid white and our titanium white, just a little titanium white, a lot of liquid white. Get out there, and then we're going to start scraping back and forth and bringing down our ocean right almost onto that bright color. If you can leave the smallest little section of dark in between your wet sandy beach area and your actual water, it will make your water look like it has a lip, right? It's got that shadow underneath. That little space of darkness is all you need. Now, sometimes that little space of darkness will disappear. You come right out onto your beach. You're like, oh no, what have I done, right? Doesn't that make it look like two little different waves in there just because you've left those little dark areas? Right? It's all up to you guys, however you want it to look, literally every time. Now, we're going to come back in. We're also going to take that liquidy white. That's not enough. We need a bit more. My lid is quite empty. There we go. There we go. That's a good amount right there. That's a good old amount. Okay. Now, when you take a little bit of that liquidy white paint, it's very wet, it's very runny. Come out here, right almost onto the sand. And kind of cut through and leave a little shine of that green in between the sand and the water's edge. Over here, we're climbing up a little bit higher, right? Came down in a little, like a very shallow little smiley face. Don't want to make it too crazy. Remember, you don't have to go too far to the side because we're going to have our bushes and all sorts of stuff in there. But say you didn't want to paint any bushes or whatever in your scene. Right? You get to do whatever you want, and you can take your water line, go all the way to the edge if you wanted to, and whatever, it's up to you. But just like that, doesn't that look like our little wet, sandy, retracting area? We're gonna start making big Z shapes over here. There, kind of pulling back some little things, little bits, just trying to be messy, right? If we're trying too hard to be perfect, guess what's not gonna come out perfect? The painting. In my case, anyway. Very cool, guys. I like this one, man. Let's extend this over just to show you what it would look like. Right? We'd have a couple little areas of bright, maybe something in between those areas to where you'd have a different bit of wave coming in. Maybe you want to extend a little bit of brightness here, there, whatever. But it doesn't all have to be the same. That's the best part. Not doing the ocean, man. Nothing out there has to match It doesn't have to be the same amount of bright. It doesn't even have to connect, right? You can have big old blank spaces. You can have really bright spaces, really dark spaces. It's all up to us every time that we do it. It's another chance for us to do it a little different. Slide some of that foam down there. How do you want yours to look? Right now, mine looks like it's rolling up, getting sucked back, and falling over the edge. Right? Again, every time that we do it, there's another chance to do it a little different. There. Go in that little spot. There. There. You see that white? How that white just really helped. Up in here. We can sneak a couple little doers up there. There we go. There's really no room for an eye in this painting, to me anyway, right? The sun might not be in the right spot. It doesn't always have to have an eye in your wave, but you do have to have that disconnection between the top of the wave, the rolling part, and then what's rolling up underneath it, right? So as long as you have that, you'll be golden for everything. Not every wave has to have a bit of splash or whatever, or a bit of eye, right? Now, it does need a bit of splash, so let's go in here with our liquid white and our fan brush, right? We're gonna start hitting in here very lightly, kind of leaving some space, right? Kind of filling in some spaces, leaving some spaces, maybe it's hitting, maybe it's not, right? To about there. Right? We don't need much else after that. It all becomes this indistinct foam, and we don't need to roll anything up because it's very far away. Right? So, all depends again how you do it, and I always like to add a little bit of white. Anytime there's a bit of darkness, just put a little bit of white there at random because it's gonna make it look that much better. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Okay, now let's get out our darkness, the deep dark color that we need, and we'll fill in our little bushes around the side. No, I don't always paint ocean scenes. No, I do paint a lot of seascapes because they're my favorite thing to do. And normally we like black out half the canvas, but I wanted to show people that you don't have to have a black section of your canvas every time, right? We can do cool stuff right out here with a white canvas and have it look just as neat. And a lot of people don't, and don't get me wrong, okay? When I was very first starting learning how to paint, I never touched that black gesso stuff for like 3 years. I didn't know what it was, I didn't know how to use it. And I was nervous to ask anybody how to use it and feel dumb, you know what I mean? So I didn't, and I did everything on a white canvas. And then when we found the black gesso, and we found black canvases and stuff, and how much fun they are, we did everything on black, or what I call Oreo canvases, which is a black, like a white top and a black bottom, or vice versa. It's a split. You know, they have those Oreo cookies in New York. It's just a black and white cookie. And so with these types of things, we've been doing more to show you that you can do the same scene on a full white canvas if that's the only thing you have. You don't have to do it on a black canvas, which is why we've been doing a few of these little oceany scenes. Plus, ever since I moved up here to Oregon, I just love the coast. I love the water. I love the ocean and just everything about it. Every time I paint it, it can be a little different. It's just so much fun. It's literally so much fun. Because even though you go to the same beach every day, if you take a snapshot, it'll be different every time, right? And so that's just another time or another chance to paint it a different way and make it look cool. Now, we need to mix up our dark color. Does anyone out there in the comments know? We don't have enough black paint. This is just foul. Hang on. Get underneath. Oh, all of that. Look at that. It's like a piece of tar. There we go. That's a bit of skin for you right there. I need to clean off this palette and really get some new paint on there because it's getting so thick now that I can't even do anything. We're scraping off asphalt off of the thing. Okay, let me get a little bit more of my black paint out and then we'll make some bushes up. So while I'm doing that, you guys know what to do. Just check in, tell me where you're watching from, and we'll see if I can keep up with how many comments come in and how fast they roll in over there. Whew. Let's see. By the time I get back here, you guys should be typing it in. Let's see where we are. We got Ohio, Oklahoma. Oh, it's my happy place too, Thirsty Turtle Tumblers. Oh, let's see. Houston. Will there be more foam? Probably not. We're going to keep this one a little bit further away. Let's see, Massachusetts, Morocco, Minnesota, Rochester, Pennsylvania, Canada, UK, North Carolina, California, Maryland, Lake District, let's see, Lebanon, Norway, Trinidad, Rhode Island, Iowa, Maryland, Milwaukee, Kentucky, New Mexico, Ontario, Miami. You guys are from everywhere. You guys are from everywhere, man. I gotta listen to that song again. I've been everywhere. Dude, I know, like, that song lists a lot of places, and I can sing the first bar anyway without missing a single place. A lot of places there. Okay, so what we did was we mixed up our crimson, our black, and our blue, or our blue, black, and crimson, or however you want to, come up with a way of putting those in there, and we mixed it up into this very dark pile that we call Paint with Josh Black, right? It's just a very purplish, blackish color. Because you take your blue and your crimson, make purple, and then we add the black, which just darkens it all up. You want to mix it until we can't see any more of the colors. And then we'll get over here with a big old bush brush, guys. A big old monster of a brush. All right, the Paint with Josh round brush. You can see it's enormous. It doesn't come like this when you first get it out of the box. When you first order the Paint with Josh brushes, it'll show up and it'll be like this, right? Like a just real tight, and that's not gonna make any bushes or anything. So what you need to do, and I said as soon as I got it, right? You take it and you just mush it flat as many times as you can, hold it for as long as you can there, and just keep it flat. I was telling Brenda earlier today in our class, I was like, if you could just rest a book on the top of it, that would be cool. Because that's gonna make it puff its way out, right? And when it's puffy, it's gonna make better bushes and stuff. Now, we need to decide which is further away and which is closer in our scene. So what do you guys think? Because I have a guaranteed, and I'll tell you the exact reason why, but what side is further and what side is closer in this scene? Left or right? Is the right side further or is the left side further away? What do you think? Left is further, left, right, left, right, guys, right. You wanna know why I think the right is farther away? Because this water has already crashed, already rolled up and crashed, getting closer and closer to us right here in the center, right? So it's got further distance going this way than it does over here, which means that if I want to keep to that, I'm going to make my bushes on the right a little bit further away than they are on the left, right? So what we would do first is come over here, get kind of up into your horizon with a lot of darkness, and then pop it down, right? How much? All up to you. How far? How big? How many little bits? All up to you. But we got to keep it dark. That's the reason. That's the whole thing. We keep it dark. We make it where we cannot see through it. Because who knows? Maybe it's a little hill that's feeding itself down. Maybe it's a whole big bush out there. Maybe whatever it is, just projected our scene back about a 10-mile distance. Now, we also talk about this during the show all the time. Right? Whatever angle we're coming down here on, we need to match it down here. That's going to help our perspective, okay? I'm just telling you right now. Now, before you leave and scroll out and go, oh my God, what did he just do to that poor painting, right? What did he just do to it? We're going to come in here, grabbing a little piece from the front and working down at this downward angle, right? It's not straight across. It's going at that downward angle. That's going to help make the front look further away and the back look closest to us, right? Now, so you don't want it to be perfect. Maybe we go in a little bit further and then out. So it just makes it change its shape, right? Now we're gonna get all that darkness off our brush, as much as we can anyway. You can go back to our 2-inch brush that had our brown sand on it, and you can literally scoop this stuff and skirt it and mix it and blend it. And of course, it's gonna change color a little bit, right? Which is why we started out with a very light amount of color. And depending on how you like it, you could get in there, get your white. You're like, what are you doing, Josh? You put that white in there, and all of a sudden we're gonna start looking like white sandy beaches out here. The more that you do, the more you're gonna see. Right? So you decide, and all it is just blending in with that black mix, blending in with our brown. And if we didn't like that, what would we do? We'd go back and put some brown over the top of it, or you'd work in a bit more. And this is why I always say you can change it as you go, right? Change it, see something. You go, you know what, I'd like mine to be a bit darker. So now we're gonna go pop in a bit of our brown. Make it a bit darker than it was before, right? Lighter up towards our thing, darker back here. That way it'll look a little closer to us. You can take that and just blend it, and blend it, and blend it, blend it. All these little things, you guys. Right, now, let's go back and highlight that guy, just so you can see what he's gonna look like, okay? What I'm gonna do is get my liquid white, which is the base coat to our whole thing, and we can actually we'll start with a little bit of our yellow ochre. Tap it into that yellow ochre right up there. Start dropping down little things. Okay? The more you cover up this guy, the brighter he's gonna become, okay? We don't need it to be all super bright. We want there to be some depth in there, right? You don't want it to all be green or all be yellow. You have to have that depthiness in there, okay? And if you don't, then you're not gonna have a cool little bush. You're gonna have a flat little bush. And it happens all the time. It still happens to me, in fact. I'll be in there trying to make something look cool, and then I'll end up covering too many little things. Let's get a little bit of our green. There, kind of dabbing it in right out here onto the edge, and then we'll come up and feed in some of that green along with it. There, not trying to cover up too many things. Not trying to have too many little bits be covered. And because we're on a white canvas, this is the best part. You can come in here and start launching out little sticks, little twigs, little things that are holding up our bushes, right? Because it's not all one big thing. You got all these things happening inside there. And when I realized that, it became much easier to paint them. Let's switch to our yellow, cad yellow and our sap green, which will change our green color. Hey, right out there. Leave some space, leave some space. Don't cover everything, don't cover everything. Leave some spaces, right? If you have to chant it to yourself while you're doing it, right? Don't cover it all. Leave some spots down there because you need that shadowy base. And then they're able to come in and grow your little sticks and twigs out of here, and little things and different bits that are growing up. Little bits, right? That's all you gotta do. Now, we need to mix up a bit more of our plaque mixture in order for our next little bush to fill in our side over here. And I'm gonna stick a little bit more of my yellow ochre right out there. There we go. Pop in a couple little bits. I love that yellow ochre color because it's almost like it's a deeper, darker, more dustier brown or yellow than our brightest yellow is. And it just gives your grassy bush or tree or whatever just a cooler feel. Just a cooler feel to it. There we go. So guys, let's mix up a little bit more of that darkness. You guys check in one more time. Tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you're at right now? Right? Just let me know. Dude, we could so pop a big old palm tree into that pile of bushes right there. We could so do it. This painting, by the way, like Cosmic tells you, number 1865. That means I painted 1,865 paintings before, well, 64 paintings, before 1864, before today. Yes, it's a South Park reference. I was teaching a class earlier today, painting my 1,864th painting, and all I could think about was be like, it's 1864. It was just, I don't know, I amuse myself. I amuse my own self sometimes. Very cool. Okay, now we've got our whole big bunch of darkness. We've got to plop over onto the other side of our little bushery over here. Okay, down into here. Actually, let's get a bit of green into this one too. A big bunch of green. It's a goop. It's a glob. And we're gonna mix it in with all that darkness. So we get a little touch of green to this guy. Now, we don't have to go as tall, right? So don't go as tall. You do have to project, dip down, bang, right there. All right, now, is this how I want to leave my bushes? All right, what do you think? Because I'm always talking about whatever angles we're on down here, we have to, what? Match up here, or should we do that same angle like this? What do you think? Is that going to look okay if I start pulling the paint away from it? The same angle, right? And what makes this bush now look like it's closer than that bush, right? That one's got a taller top to it. So what makes this bush look like it's closer than that one out there? You tell me if you know, if you can. Block out everything else around here, guys. You don't need any other bit of light showing through the bush way down here at the bottom. It just doesn't need to be that way. That scraggly old little doer right there. So what makes this bush look like it's in front? Lower, exactly. Its point is at a lower point than this guy, right? So by the time, sure, we're gonna be pulling it down from out here, then you'll really be able to see that it's in fact closer than it is on that other little friend down there, right? Now, we're gonna be very gentle with our pressure. In fact, let's start there. Start doing it from this other side, just so we don't pull out so much. You can come up there, grab a little bit, but we're constantly mixing it. We're getting lower. As we go down, we're getting lower, guys. We're getting lower. All right, it means we need more darkness down there in order to grab that lower bit. Okay. There we go. Grabbing it. Grab it. Now watch, if you come up higher in a certain spot, just be lower in your next spot, and it'll make it look still like it's continuing to get closer to us. Do you see? Do you see? This guy, move that thing back over there. Bang. Door to the just, my friends. Look at it. It's amazing. The more we mix that guy in over here, a little shadow underneath. Right? Very cool, my friends. It's like we could literally take a stroll right down to the old beach, couldn't we? Couldn't we? Okay. Now let's take a little bit more of that liquidy white into our sap green, our cad yellow. Lots of it though. See how we're like right up into the pile? I'm trying to get all that gunk onto here because I want to get that gunk to fall off of the brush and look a little closer perhaps, right? Leaving maybe a few more spaces in between those guys. Maybe some spaces where we got some branches and stuff growing up there. And then again, we never want to have it all be the same color everywhere. So let's kind of drop down. Leaving space for a different color to kind of ride on the top of it. Right? Wipe off our brush so it's nice and clean. We don't need a dirty brush when we go to do this guy. Get in here, a little bit more of our liquid white. Into that cad yellow again, right into the thickest part of the pile so we get that goop on there. Popping it off, bang, right down in between. Right in between the two colors, maybe behind. Little things, they don't have to be supremely bright. They don't have to overtake everything. They're not in control. We are in control. Right? We're the ones that are telling you what's growing out from over here. What's through there? How many little sticks and twigs are we going to have with these little plants out here? So growing over there, here, wherever we want them to be, my friends. Now, let's get a little bit of our liquid white. Go back over here into our sap green cad yellow mix. It's nice and bright. Sitting right up here on the top. There. Right? Still, we get to that next color, and we don't cover it all. We don't have everything be supremely bright. And even down the side, we're leaving spaces down the back side of the can where you can't even see, because we cannot physically cover everything. You can't. If you do, you will have the flattest bush you've ever seen, my friends. Very cool. Now, there's one little thing you can do to make it more of like a pathway. Does anybody know what you could do? What would you do if you wanted to make it more like a path, Josh? If I wanted to make it look like I was just walking down a little path versus having this open section, right? Boom, boom, boom. Darken, we could darken it. Tone, rocks, good idea, you know what I mean? Or we could come back onto this side. It's only because I have this paint still left over. Let me pop it in over here. So now it's gonna look like there's a little space in between these little doers, okay? And if we bring it in on this side, it's gonna look like we've got this S-shaped path going like that. And you can't do that until you finish out brushing out all those little guys first, right? If you try to do it all together, it ain't never gonna work. Come back onto this one. Let's pop in from a new angle, kind of dropping down. Different little brighter color to it. Right? Little things dipping out, Maybe they're up there, maybe they're over here, wherever it is, we get to decide. And then we come in and start sliding it down and pulling it back or whatever. We're in control of what it looks like out there. And every time we do it, we have a chance to do it a little bit different. Each time, right, adding more little things, getting a little closer. All right, let's put that guy down there. Some of that green. There. It came out like this now. All right, all of a sudden changing the whole painting because of where we're projecting our little thing. Now we got this serious little S shape down in there. And now our left side is the closest part of our entire painting, and therefore we don't need to see the bottoms of these little guys. Pop this in. Bing, bang, boom, guys. Don't do too much. You do too much, you're gonna hate it. You're not gonna like it. I swear, you won't like it if you're doing too many little things. But now we got this little S-shaped little pathway down there. It's just gorgeous, you guys. It's gorgeous. Now, I need your help in coming up with a title for this painting. Right? Have you ever heard any other artist be like, hey, help me name this painting? Where do you think they learned it from, homie? Right, right here. So help me come up with a title about what we should call this painting. Now remember, if you end up purchasing it during the live show, you get to then choose the title forever. It becomes yours, and you get to pick the title. Right? I'm thinking we might need some sea oats in there too. It's just a possibility. A couple little sea oats. Calm before the storm. That's cool. I like that. The Blue Lagoon, the Lost Sea. Those are all excellent titles. I'm thinking just for my own self, I gotta have a couple little something's projecting up out of there. So I'm getting these guys, and we're gonna go like this. Right up into the water. Is it a stick? Is it a sea oat? Is it a little corn dog plant? What is it that's popping out there? How tall? They need to be different, but they need to project up into your water, which is why we do them like this. Right up into the water. It helps push it back, and it doesn't matter. It looks so much cooler. Maybe we have a little guy popping up out of here. Now, I'm going to show you very gingerly like how to make the tip tops of those guys, okay? I'm not going to do them on every one either. That's not going to look right. Come in here. Let's pick this big guy. Maybe we only got one. We kind of touch it and give it a little flick. Just a little, and all we're doing is kind of touching against it. I'll show you right here up close. See if I can get it on both cameras at the same time. All right, we're going to touch against it like this. So say this is the stick. All right, we're going to touch it and then kind of twist and pull the thing just like that. All right, so you grab it, let the brush do the work, and pull it away at the right time. And you get the little puff out there. Oh, I like him. The little lone puffer out there that went, and now he's just blowing in the wind. You guys, I'm telling you. Now, doesn't that make it look that much cooler because we have these couple little things projecting up into our water, right? That's what it would look like down there. Literally what it would look like down there if we went down and snapped a little photo, right? Serenity Amidst Chaos. Serene Dream, that's a cool title. Keep hitting me with your titles, my friends. Sounds of Silence, Tranquil Passage, that's a cool title. This was insane to watch. Thank you, I appreciate you. Don't go anywhere because we're not done. Don't go anywhere. All right, Blue Lagoon, I dig it. Just a Wave, I like that too. Pathway to Tranquility, I dig. Salty Winds, Whispery Seas. Path to Paradise is cool. Birds of Paradise is cool. Because that's one thing we're missing out here, isn't it? Our one little thing we're missing out here are the old Paint with Josh signature birds that tell you that this is a Paint with Josh painting. Right here. And they go in daytime paintings, in nighttime paintings. I really gotta get up there. We really gotta have a wet brush. We're gonna do it too. If we don't have a wet brush, it's not gonna work very well. That's the secret there. Right, come down. Now I gotta go over and slowly because there. Now, bang! One more little guy is all we need. And I can tell that this canvas is very skimp on liquid white, which means we did just the right amount. Bink, and then we'll do our last one. boop, boop. Just right out there in the day. Now, if you're wondering, what the heck is that maul stick that he's got? Why does he have this stick out there, right? And where do I get one? You can get one at Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. It's just a yardstick. And all it does is give me a place to rest my hand, even over all that texture. Rest my hand and do little details and little things. We can put it up here. We can do it over there. You can do it upside down if you wanted to. Come in here and go. Because when we do it, let me put this down. When we rest out here, there's lots of space, right? Depending on how far away I pull it from the canvas, I could fit everything up. I could fit the trash can up underneath here now, right? When I'm real close, I can rest on it without resting my hand into wet paint, right? If we were an acrylic artist and we were doing acrylics and stuff, it would sort of be dry, and you could just go back up there, lay down on it like it was a pillow, right? But the oil artists like me, we can't do that. We have to have it something to rest our hand on anyway, in order to make a very thin. Because if you're out here like this and you're trying to hover on the canvas, it makes it so much more difficult, you guys, to control your pressure, right? If you're trying to hover. If you can rest your hand down, my goodness, you're gonna be having a good old time, let me tell you. So let's come up with a title. Remember, if you purchase it, you get to pick a title forever. And it becomes your painting forever here and henceforth, right? So you get out there and you let us know. Let's pop in. We're gonna get some sticks and twigs on that, guys. So let's put the thing down here. You let me know what we're gonna title it. Come up with it as a group. Pick the best title you can possibly imagine. And type it in the comments. One more little thing. My cave wasn't very white right here. There we go. Perfect. Amazing, you guys. Came out awesome. Now, with these guys, especially out here in the front, I can't forget our little sticky little twigs that are holding up our bushes and such. I can't do that. Same down in here. Boom. Scraping around the JK anyway. That will add that depth, right? What gives you depth in your bushes? The dark separators where you can reach down inside and pull something out. All right, so you guys keep coming up with a title for it, and I'm gonna finish washing off these brushes, and then we'll pick a title together, so don't go anywhere. Don't you go anywhere. Remember, if you get it during the live show, you get a gift off the Spinny Winnie Wheel. It's my gift back to you for making the show better by purchasing it during the show, which you guys all know, when somebody gets a painting during the show, it just makes it that much better of a video to watch, at least for me anyway. So, head over there, check it out if you like. If not, I totally feel you. I get it. The reason I tell you so much is because this is my job. This is what I do. I do not have any other form of income beyond helping you guys learn how to become better painters, right? So, I rely on some of those people out there that'll go and spend the money to get the Paint with Josh paintings and keep me in business. That's what it's all about. There we go. Okay, guys. Man, that was a cool looking scene. Cool looking scene, my friends. Man, you guys are so cool. The painting stuff. Hello, shit. My goodness. Boom! Boom! Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you oh so much. Debbie. Oh so much. It's an old Howard Stern reference. Oh, Debbie. Anybody remember that? Any other Howard fans in here? Remember old Debbie? I think it was Finny. I can't even remember now. Can't even remember. I remember the reference. Oh, Debbie. I don't know why it all of a sudden popped in my head, but that's what it was. Let's check this out, guys. Thank you, Cosmic. I just got your message on the iPad. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, let's take a quick look-see at what happened over here, guys. Oops, this one, that one. Brooke, what? Amazing. Are you here in the comments? Let us know where you're watching from. Are you watching over on TikTok? Are you watching over on YouTube? Let me know. I am going to be ending the YouTube stream here very soon because I never like them to take, too much longer than an hour. And it's literally about to hit an hour on the dot. So let me just double check that our purchaser is right there. Okay, cool. So just give me the last 2 digits of your zip code. Like for me, it's 02. So just type in the last 2 digits of your zip code. That way I can double check it's actually you. Everybody over on YouTube, I love you guys. I can't wait to see you on the next video. So until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And bye. Man, that's cool. That is cool.